Good morning, everyone. Today's video is a popular request from a lot of my clients is to tell my story. I assume because said it so many times when I was doing farmers markets that even you know my story. So let me start. Um, Instead of me just standing here and you staring at my face, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my morning routine while I talk to you who I am. And since I'm going to have to start from the beginning when I was born, it's going to be chopped up in series so that you don't get totally bored out of your mind. So as soon as I'm finished my makeup, we'll go to the next chapter. Okay? Okay, so let's start with who I am now. I'm a 60-year-old woman, and as you can see, I am the owner of a cosmetic company because as a woman myself, I have a hard time finding the product that I needed to keep my skin young and looking young. Now, I don't know if you can see, but this morning I woke up with a big wrinkle right here. Like, I don't know what happened, but maybe I was too intimate with my pillow. And as you can see, I have bags. And I have bags here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is my routine and trying to explain it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have water. And water at room temperature. I like my Pellegrini, any type of good mineral spring water. It's great. So this is my glass. And what I do every morning to fight and make myself more beautiful, I use grapefruit seed extract. There's many medicinal properties that are very good for that, but obviously I can't talk about it, so I'm just going to talk about the beautiful things about it. It makes me beautiful. Okay, that's one thing that is very important, at least once a day. Okay, so today I'm going to start with me where I was born. Okay, so I was born, as you can see, I have a large bottle. Because I get a large bottle. I was born in Sicily, and I have parents from Rome, from, I don't know, the beginning of the generation when Rome was started. And I lived in Italy for about the first 9 years of my life. I went to school in Italy, and of course I excelled in mathematics. See, this is how I excelled in mathematics and in art. It was one of the favorite things that I enjoy doing. Now, of course, in Italian, and as you can hear it in English, is not my best or forte. Languages are definitely not my forte. So one of the things that I tried to do in my younger years was to find a profession that would incorporate. Now, if you notice, I'm putting above my eyelid. Now, if you don't know, this is tattooed. My makeup, my eyeshadow is totally tattooed, because I have many allergies, and so we'll get to that. So, of course, in my younger years, approximately when I started to recognize that I was having a lot of problems, physical, external problems, besides internal problems. I was having digestion problems at a very, very young age. I was having problems of all sorts of discomfort. I was having arthritis at that time that was even unknown, and as you can see, my fingers are not perfectly straight, and at that time they're really crooked. Now they're getting much better now that I see them. I didn't even realize how much better they're getting. So one of my biggest problems and complaints that I used to go to the doctor, and this is between the age of probably about 6, 7 to 9 years old, was that my knees always ached. They were always swollen, and so did my hands. And of course those doctors then didn't realize it's whatever my problem. Oh, just growing pain, go on, don't worry about it. So then we came to Canada, and by that time I was at least 9 years old, 10 going on 10, and my pains were even more, so I couldn't really do anything in the playground. I remember staring at the children in the playground running and playing with the, I was just so much pain in my knees. I could just sit there at recess, and I remember just, wondering why I was in so much pain. And so we go into now my teenage years, and the most horrifying thing ever happened to me, and I think might still get emotional over just saying the story, is that my hair started to fall off. Okay, now as a teenager, the last thing you want is your hair to fall off. And at the time, I still couldn't understand why I was always so tired. I was sick of being sick. I got to a point that I was just, as a teenager, I'm going through this, and I'm going, this is not normal. This is not the way life's supposed to be. So I believe I started between when my hair started to fall off. I think that was, I guess, my really point that I said, okay, you gotta start taking charge of your own health here, because nobody's giving you any answers. The doctors here too were just saying, oh yeah, growing pains, and they're just giving me like medication that, to trying to get rid of the pain, and I was like having more side effects on this medication. I don't even remember what it was. At one time they even gave me Valiums. I don't even know what that had to do. I'm a teenager, and they're giving me Valium because I'm in pain, and I start crying for no reason in the middle of the day, and I said, okay, this is not normal, this is not right, and I stopped taking those too. Okay? Now, I don't know if that triggered it, but I started getting a lot of skin problems after that. I got serious eczema. I got psoriasis. Like, eczema is basically another form of psoriasis, just the first stage. But psoriasis is the third stage, when it starts to bleed and all sorts of things. I don't want to get into that. Nevertheless, the point is, before I know it, not only I'm inventing the comb over so I can hide my bald spots, I'm studying, now, starting middle school. I'm trying to decide what I want to be. So I decide that I want to be an architect. My father was an engineer, and so I just, my father wanted me to be an engineer, but I just couldn't see myself. I tried it. It's not like I didn't try it, but it was just so much of a fraction of a millimeters of error that I said, no, I need a little bit room. And so I tried for the architecture, and I enjoyed it way better, because, you get to be more creative. You're building something. You don't have to have something mechanical. But nevertheless, I'm still having problem with my hair. I'm having problem with my skin. I'm having problem with my body. I'm having problem with muscle. So I decided to start body training and bodybuilding because I said, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to have to do this right. We're going to look at a nutrition-based rejuvenation. And so then that's when I started with, I had at least read by that time approximately probably a encyclopedia and a half of books. Not the actual encyclopedia, but equivalent of information, because at that time there was no internet, there was no YouTube, there was nothing. So what I did is I tried to get as much information as I possibly could find it. I used to spend days and days from morning till close just reading labels of the health food stores, because at one time that was you could read what that herb or vitamin did on the actual label. There were no laws created to keep you ignorant, right? So the next thing you know is I am now finally experimenting, and because herbology ended up being what I really my frequency just went to. I was captivated. I mean, I did study. I studied Indian medicine, Chinese medicine, nutrition. I did dab into all of them. So nutrition and herbology were what resonated with me, and I said, okay, well, I have to build a body. I knew that the fact that if you're bodybuilding, what is the process of bodybuilding? What is actually bodybuilding? Is you ripping muscles with weights, and then the body repairing it, and as it repairs it, is going to build it bigger, because it's going to expect you to try to rip it again, because with the amount of weight. And that's basically your body repeating rinse and repeat of repair. And just like if you don't have a proper material to build a house, and you just got a pile of dung, that's all you're going to be able to build your house with, a pile of dung. But if you have a pile of marble, then you're going to be able to build your house with a pile of marble. See, that's basically the same as your body. Now, what I do use a lot is for my arms here, because since now my inflammation is going away, you end up with a lot of saggy skin. Okay, so I'm recuperating, and we'll get to that. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so I was at this time now experimenting with a lot of different formulas for hair, because my biggest problem is I had alopecia, holes all over my head. I look like a cat that went through a fight and was not the winner. So one of the things that I started to do is, with my formulation of herbology that I experimented and extractions and everything that I've learned, I actually started to get results. And I was shocked, because you don't expect to get results. You expect to try, and because everybody tells you that hair can regrow, right? Well, it did. And as you can see it, to this day. Now, of course, now the technology is there. Don't mind me, it's a little bit, I put a lot of oil because I did dye my hair, so I'm trying to get rid of the frizz. But my hair is quite full, if you see my other videos. Now, especially when they're frizzy. Nevertheless, my hair tonic started to work, and not only I got rid of the alopecia, my hair started to have a large amount of growth and results rapidly, like almost an inch and a half a month. That was definitely unheard for me, because I always had, from the time I can remember, my mother used to give me the crew cut, because my hair didn't grow, and I always had scraggly hair. And finally I had a chance of having long hair. Okay, So one of the things that I do my this other one. One of the things that brought confidence in me was having my hair back. By this time now, I'm in high school because, like I said, it took a while before I started to solve the problem. So now that I'm in high school, my hair starting. They're not the best. Don't like they're now. They're still, straggly, having a little bit of lack of this and lack of that. But compared to what it was before, feel like a superstar. But my face still looks like a pizza. And it's not appetizing pizza. So, my next dilemma, I'll comb my hair. My next dilemma was, well, if I did it for my hair, I can do it for my skin. So, of course, I started to tinker and experiment, and before I know it, scargone was created. Now, I named it scargone at the time. Actually, originally was not even scargone, was magic oil. I'm going, oh my God, this is magic oil, right? I said, look at the results that I'm getting. So, I wasn't sure that it worked because we always doubt ourselves. We always underestimate ourselves. We always like to sabotage ourselves. I don't know why. Some sort of technical problem somewhere in our app. Nevertheless, I then decided to I decided, okay, you know what? You better test it. Maybe it was just you that healed. Maybe it's just, you ate something that worked really well. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Nevertheless, I tested it. And I didn't like having the name at the time, Magic Oil. The fact that, besides that I'm, religious and we have now this magic oil, I had to actually even reverse engineer it, because when I did make it, I made it and I thought, wow, well, maybe you can do it again. So I redid it, and okay, well, what really worked and what didn't really work? Because initially I had 75 different plans in the product alone. So I wanted to know which one did what, and I wanted to know why, and if it worked on whatever. And at the time, I had a lot of friends that had so many skin problems. I had thousands of friends from where I worked, from where I went to school, and when they saw my skin, they go, oh my God, what did you use? Well, I used this. Do you want to try it? Oh, I have this. Oh, let's try it. So for 10 years, I swear to God, for 10 years, I did not in any way, shape, or form sell a single drop. I did everything in 10 years, waiting for all of my friends to come back and tell me, wow, it worked on this, wow, it worked on that. And I actually had a list of over 75 different skin conditions listed. And of course, now I feel like a snake oil salesman. Who wouldn't? This is very good for the bags. That's why you see me do this. And as you can see, they're diminishing because of simple fact. Okay, so calms the eyes too. So, and this is spring water. with the Mega Moisturizer, or Mega Moisturizer with the label. I use. Okay, so next thing you know is I have not a single bad review. I mean, actually, the opposite. I get people that are going, oh my God, I just used one drop and look, it took, all of this away. And so, after 10 years, I decided, okay, you know what? It's about time that we put it on the market. So, while looking for a business name, while looking, filing everything that I needed to file, the next thing I know, I decided on the name Scargone. And the reason why was because I wanted just to target one of the many benefits. And I thought, okay, there's not many things out there with scars, and so let's call it Scargone. And that, when I started to, I even remember I was made fun of, that at the end of the day, they were laughing at me because I decided to stop at a truck stop on the side of the highway. This was in Ontario now. And I decided that I was going to sell this product on the side of this highway here. There was nobody. I just pulled out a tent and started selling. So the next thing you know is, after a full day, it must have been 9 hours, I sell one single bottle. And I was so happy. I said, finally somebody that actually is going to need it is going to use it. And it was so like eye-opening. For me, I lived with this stuff. I lived with fixing my health too at the same time, and my nutrition and my bodybuilding with the knowledge that I acquired. So for me to create something that I needed, it was like me cleaning the dishes. It's just a normal household act. For me, I thought everybody was like that could fix their own problems. Until I was reminded, and it was said, Eve, what about the people that can't? So that's why I was so eager to go in and making in the middle of the street and set up a market, me and myself. Of course, the second time I couldn't go there because it was private property. So I realized, I said, well, there must be a market, because, like I said, I was so new, and there's no information out there. There's no internet. At the time, I'm so old that at the time we still had the phones that were as big as this brush, just a hand, and I had just like a regular phone to this battery pack that was as big as the case that I have here, and you're carrying that case around. So I got myself informed, and I found out where markets were. And I started with the first market that was in Aurelia. It was a very small market on a Saturday. And that's when I started my first 20 years of my career. And you ask yourself, well, what happened to your architecture? What happened to your engineering? Well, I did finish. I did graduate with high marks, especially for being the only female at the time in my college for architecture. I was reminded very many times. And I was hired because of my high marks. And then when it was found out that I was a woman, because it just went through the high. Oh, okay, it was a high marks. Okay, we'll hire her and so forth. And I got a call while I was at a night job that I was working at then. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't come in on whatever date it was because you are a woman. So that really hurt me, you know, because at that time, women on a job site or women with like just even in that field were unheard of. And I liked it because of my mathematics and it combined art, you know, architecture and mathematics, the combination of the two. So because of that disappointment, I then focused on other things such as my health and while I was still at home, and I decided to go into the bodybuilding like I mentioned earlier and do a lot of pageants, and I did through all of my teenage years. Miss Hawaiian Tropic, Miss Canada, Miss Italy, Miss Chin, Miss this, and that gave me enough. That was more to give me self-esteem, because in many occasions I got, for example, you know, on the pageants that I won, they come in the back, oh, how tall are you? Well, I was off by 1 inch and I couldn't make the petite line. You know, another time I was for another interview. I mean, there were so many things. Oh yes, my hair. My hair was so still frizzy and uncontrollable. Because still, you know, at that time I grew my hair, but I did not make any conditioners and shampoo. They were just making my hair very frizzy. So that I've always had that problem, and that's why one of the things that I really love about now is that when I do find a product that I do love, that I didn't have to create or anything, because I mean creating products is an endeavor. It's not something that I say, oh, I want to do this because it's fashionable. It's because I needed it. So the same is when I do find a product, oh, it saves me so much time and money and energy, and I can solve my problem. And most of us women is our hair, our skin, our clothing, and so forth. So, in our diet. So, by this time, I'm now selling in the markets for, you can say, almost good 20 years. And I'm having 100 and, if not 200% results on all of my clients. And they love it. They can see the result fast and things like that. So the next thing you know is my name, the Scargone name, it gets, because I did it for so long, now the internet starts to come into play. And now I have a cell phone. The technology, shortly, almost before I ended, there was, the square that you can, process credit cards in the middle of a field. So the technologies were starting to catch up, and because of that, then I started, I've had I had a website even before I had a cell phone. I had a website at the time, at the peak that the website started to become, that just were brand new. Hudson Bay, I remember Hudson Bay was the only one, and I was the second to Hudson Bay with my website. And I actually went in person to a host, had a contract. I had the website that was able to process credit cards with the host. And at that time too, I was actually processing with paper on the field. At that time, I was doing Bala, the markets in Bala. I was doing the 400, the flea market on the 400. Those were my biggest markets. And of course, I was doing the the school in the Richmond Hill on a Saturday. That was an organic market at the Rudolph Center or Rudolph School. So I had a full week of markets that I was doing, and so I was even at that time on top of the technology of solar and windmill. I converted my entire house at that time. That was in the 80s into a big giant DC outlet, like a big RV. And the next thing you know is I'm starting to make a lot of headways. I actually had a few investors that wanted to invest, and the way I am, I'm going, no, I need to have my own control. If I want to change a label, if I want to change a product, I have to have that control. So time goes by, and then we moved to BC. So now we're getting into close to the 15th year, 10 years that I was doing in Ontario. So now we're starting here in BC, and now I'm doing about 15, at least 10 more years before I get to that major story. So it's another 10 years that I'm doing now markets all over the Vancouver Island. And even if I've been invited to Vancouver City, it was just even, I think I did a couple of times with the ferry, and that was enough for me. So basically, it all ended up this way. I end up having a full staff, computer girl. I end up having market help. I end up, hiring a lot of girls to help me with the sales, with the packaging, with the emails. And I was at my peak. I was at first one of my websites that I really was really proud at the time then, that I had my full girl, that I thousands of dollars that I paid for that website, was that for her to take before and after pictures with a very high resolution camera that I was at the time. She did all the dietary reasons too, because I'm a very much believer that you are what you eat, including your skin will show. And the next thing you know is we had approximately 35 pages of different conditions and testimonials, and I, in my email alone, would be sold out. I would be sold out of my batch because I make it, I bottle it, and I sell it. So I would have every single one of my batches, by the time I was on my peak at that time, sell 90% before I even hit the floor at the market. Everybody made sure that they had their batch, right? Their amount. At the time, if you recognize me, then you see these bottles were by the hundreds going out the door. I have very tiny glass bottles, and the packaging did change. because of me giving them a better price, more volume to do a better job. And of course, then my clients said, no, no, this is not enough. Can you sell us by the liter? Because they use it for all sorts of things, stretch marks, body lotion. Why just stop at the face, your neck, and everything else? So basically, by this time, I am at my peak. I get a very strange email from someone. I'm not going to mention who it is. And this email asks me if I want to sell my name, scargone.com, if I want to sell my domain name. Well, at the time, I'm at my peak. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people searching for my name. You know, at least 100 people are contacting me a week. So by that time, and I'm saying by this time, I said to the answer, no, of course not. I don't want to sell it. This is my business. I just built this business now. It's close to 20 years, right? And so shortly after that, and I should have known, Bill 51 came into place. And if you're not really familiar with Bill 51, if you're not a Canadian, Bill 51 is basically the equivalent of castrating every single health business known to man. And I'm not exaggerating. Every single health business that was here in Canada got basically devastated by Bill 51. That means in no way, shape, or form you can make any health claims or benefits or actual truth of what this thing does, it may do to your body. Just the truth. Well, you can't say the truth. You can't write the truth on your label. All you can say is what it is. Okay? So to keep the population ignorant, that's what you did. And the Bill 51 is that exact thing. So I told my girlfriend that she was taking care of the phones and taking care of the emails and taking care of the website, that at any moment Health Canada was going to call and that we were going to have to comply with all of their needs and wants. And she was devastated because she goes, it took me 3 years to build this. It took me all this time to build this, and now you're asking me to destroy it. And I have to say, yes, you have to destroy it, because we have the order from Health Canada, because I leave it to your imagination, does not want me to sell this product except for only wrinkles. And now Bill 51 came into place. I have to now apply for a number to sell it for wrinkles. So all of my products then were put through the vigorous thing of applications and formulation and everything, and labeling and everything else, that I had to put it in cosmetic Latin. Yes, that's not me going crazy. That is such a thing, cosmetic Latin, for your cosmetics, so that you don't know what's in that. That's all. Because I don't know cosmetic Latin, but I have to get a label made to be with the Health Canada regulations. I leave that to you. I know it's 39 minutes now. It's quite a long period. The way I'm going to end it is that after that, my business legs were broken. My clients all of a sudden didn't understand why I am changing my name, why my website had been destroyed, why they couldn't find me anymore. So I had to fire my staff. I couldn't afford it. My market people didn't show up anymore. Totally, I lost everything. My entire business was totally broken, and to this day, I'm still feeling the effect. It hurts because I ended up finding out that my competition, that was not even my competition, just some weird person that decided to make and live off my hard work and set up a website by the name of scargone.com. They're trying to sell that to me. GoDaddy is trying to sell my website back to me for $10,000. Then there's some other guy that just opened up a scargone skincare, and there were about 10 different types of scargone and scargone medical versions of these. Yeah, some guy that just felt like, yeah, I'm gonna steal 20 years of her life and I'm gonna try to make money. I hope and pray that none of my clients got fooled and bought some toxins from this website. I decided to fight back for my name, and I bought every single version of scargone possible to man. Even my last one, scargone, is turkeyneckrollon.com. You know, so I have approximately 10 different versions. I probably have of scargone in my names and I have 10 different websites, and they're all going to show you turkey neck roll on now, and excuse me, and kit. So I trademarked it this time. I registered it. I copyrighted it, my name. And so then, of course, I have to start all over again. You know, it's like I am starting all over again. And between that time of my company dissolving and me starting over again, I got very, very, very sick. I mean, I got so sick. Like I said, you know, it's not like I'm spring chicken or being healthy when I started. And again, was because I wasn't really listening to my body. I was listening more to my tongue, the palate. And I started introducing, you say, oh my God, you introduced chocolate candies and bread and biscuits. No. I just started eating vegetables. And my diagnosis of my liver, since I mentioned too earlier that I'm like a canary, didn't agree with me, and so I had to go through 5 years of finding that was the cause. I blamed everything. I blamed my pots and pans. I blamed my soap. I blamed the aromatherapy in the house. I the carpet. I ripped the carpet off. There was basically, I don't think there was a stone that I did not turn over and to find out what was my problem. And my problem was that I was having all sorts of pre-diabetic symptoms on top. I was having unexplained bleeding in certain places that I shouldn't be bleeding. I was blaming it on the fact that I was exposed to being outside underneath Wi-Fi towers. But all of those things, the body seemed to be able to fight now without any problem since I went on a keto diet. And the keto, the fat, I don't care what fat you want, whatever belief you want to believe, because I'm not here to change your beliefs, is that the only thing you got to remember is that this fat is a 369 essential fatty acid omega balance. That's it. That's the only thing you got to remember. And that is why there is a war on omegas. And there was a war on omegas. So just keep that in mind. 99% of my diet is fat, 369 omegas. And you can derive it from different forms. It's all up to where you want to derive it from. And a tiny bit of protein. That's it. So that 80 to 90%, I'm only left with 10% of protein. And again, that protein is a very fat protein again. And I make sure that that's it. And any cravings or anything that especially, I make sure that they go away. So, I hope that this kind of introduced me a bit of my story. And now that I am much better, and now that I feel strong, you know, just like Kennedy said, yeah, when you're sick, you only have one wish in your mind, and to just get better. And that was me. I only wanted to get better. I was making the product for my clients that were very loyal still to me, and you know, but compared to what it was, because of my illness, I wasn't concerned, you know, to make my business thrive again. I actually, that's the reason why I started eBay, was because I realized that I was so sick that I might not come through after 5 years of me trying to figure out what my problem was, that I had really no problem. I didn't have any defects that I thought I was with some sort of defect. It was actually what I was consuming that was defected. I realized after that I didn't want to, at that time, I didn't want to leave my personal items for my son to clean and dispose of, clean the house of it. So that thought gave me enough energy to say, okay, I'm not going to be able to do anything. I can at least stay and take a picture of this item and post it on eBay and get rid of it. I don't care what it is. I just didn't want my son, that's including my clothes, including the house, where, you know, I asked my son first, do you want any of these things? No, Mom, I got enough out, you know. So then I started the eBay, and before I knew it, you end up with a lot of stuff throughout your lifetime. even if I did downsize 3 times already. So I'm definitely downsizing now, again, and hopefully this will be sufficient. Um, because, like I said, I don't want to have, once I'm gone, I don't want to have to leave anything for my son except money, really, at the end, or some sort of collateral of that is worth something. You don't really want to leave your old clothes and stuff like that. So I had to, and that's how I started the eBay, and I really enjoy that now because I actually get to see people enjoy and love the things that I loved at that time. Um, when I was doing the markets, I had to dress up to the nines all the time, just like someone in the office. So then, I had the hats, I had this, purse, everything had to match. So, now that I am working from home, and these furs and these things, I don't want them to rot and be destroyed too at the same time. I want somebody to enjoy it, get some enjoyment as I got the enjoyment out of it. At the end of the day, they're only material things. Obviously, we can't take them with us. So why not, especially if they're well made and they're valuable. That's why the eBay, I believe, is such a blessing, has been for me, because has given me a little bit of incentive. And it's only been a year, but it's been successful beyond what I ever expected. I didn't even expect to have or see anything for 5 years, because usually what you expect, even with my Amazon, when I finally listed my, and that is a nightmare of itself. Amazon, yeah, it's like working with an antique computer, and they let you go through so many loops. By the time you finish listing your product, you're going, oh my God. So my biggest problem was that when you're old and you don't have enough technology, or know your technology, and Amazon makes it extremely difficult, it was quite an expense. Are you ever going to do it again? If I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it different. I might make a video, a little bit of education of what to expect with Amazon. Nevertheless, it's been successful. So that's why I expected the same with eBay, but no, it's quite the difference. So that's why you can find my product even on eBay, because for me it's much better to list, and any new products I just list on eBay. I don't even try to list anything in Amazon. The 3 variation of the sizes that are there, that's enough. They're in the warehouses so people can get the next day delivery and not pay any shipping, because if they go into my Shopify, they're going to have to pay for the same product, but because I drop it always down to the 30% with the shipping, it basically comes to the same price of Amazon. So, and the same for eBay. eBay is even cheaper, so you get even my product cheaper. But yeah, so I'm going to now, I have all my numbers from Health Canada, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, going probably on 20 now, of my soap, my hair formulas, like I have the shampoo, the tonic, my toothpaste, and so forth. So my candles, my lotions. So what I'm going to be doing is, since I'm feeling better, is that I'm going to be now back not only doing my videos of the products that I love, but to do the videos of the as I make the products and to show you behind the scenes. So you get to know me. You get to know who I really am, and like I like is making friends. When I was at the market, that's why I enjoyed that time, because I made some really, everlasting lifetime friends that are still my clients. They come and visit me. We spend 3 or 4 hours together. We chat, and we enjoy each other's company. So every one of my clients, to me, has always been a very close friend and someone that I share whatever new discovery that I make that I'm excited about. And I'm hoping to do the same through the YouTube. I mean, I started this YouTube channel, and probably if you see the beginning, was probably about 10 years ago. But again, because of all the history that I just told you, I did not, I was not consistent in producing and so forth and so forth. Of course, the camera shy and all the other problems, and not even having the proper equipment. Even this very cheap pad, I don't know why it's making me look blurry all the time. Maybe it's the lights that I have. The lights that you see, some of these lights, and I'm going to make a video too about, is the UV and BVU. I like both of the lights that has both, they're rectile lights. They both have the both different signal of light, and what I find is not only I use it for my birds so they can get their vitamin D since they're indoors. I notice that they really enjoy it. They sit in front of it so to get the maximum from the heat too and the sun. And I come in this room, I have one right in my face now, and I'm getting my vitamin D. And I have one in my bedrooms, and sometimes all I got is I'm in there all the time. So while watching TV, I have that as my background and actually on me. So I find that BC Island does not get much sun, and well, nowhere gets much sun. So maybe BC gets more sun than the rest of Canada, really tell the truth. So I basically use these lights. I have, in this room I have two. I have another one in the bedroom. I'm planning to get at least another two. Another one for here and another one for the bedroom. So that I'm not even going to use the headlight. Now, all the other lights that you do see are all aquarium lights, or they're LED light, and they seem to be really good working for all sorts of, for the plants. So I can't over recommend that you get yourself some. Yes, on Amazon. I have no problem shopping on Amazon. I love shopping on Amazon. I love having my products on Amazon. I love the fact that they give great customer service to my thing. My problem has to be as a retailer trying to put a product on their site without having some sort of bells ringing for no reason at all, or alarms going off for no reasons at all. And that's where Amazon, like I even have it in the States, in their warehouses in the States. And they're great. I mean, they handle everything. I ship it, and that's great. I don't even get a notice until after everything is done. So, and I always send everyone that wants to get a small bottle over there, because hey, you can get my product way faster. You can get it way with the shipping than me trying to put it in the mail. A week goes by, you're not going to get it the next day. So for me to allow to have that extra service, I have to pay for that service and I have to go through the loops for that service, but my client is the beneficiary of that. I have to hire technicians to deal with Amazon because there's no way I can even go in there and touch it. And every time I go even in the app to look if there's anything, I'm always worried something might have happened. And that is because of, and I do believe is they have not changed their system. They're still operating on the same old system. Yeah, they might add, they might update it, they might do whatever they want, but I believe that they're so afraid because they can't switch to another system without spending millions of dollars, that this system is still in the back, is still active. So when something goes wrong, everything hits the fan. So, but yes, Amazon are great. Do not let me in any way, shape, or form just say anything else about it. So, hopefully, I answer some of the questions from people that don't know who I am. Hopefully, you get to know me more, so you get to know who I am and why I do what I do. And hopefully, I have inspired anyone to see that it's not too late. Even me at 60, I can start my business again, and even if I had a couple of knockdowns, I can still dust myself and go on and be excited about it. I'm very excited about all of my dreams that I have, about all of my new products that I'm going to be able to add to my websites. So yeah, so right now, if you're not familiar, I'm working on with the sensual candles. And the sensual candles, as you can see here, I have tested it. This is one of the large sets. I go by ml. So this is the 350 ml body lotion. I just got a whiff of that. Yes, is amazing smell combination that I made. I'm not going to tell you, you're going to have to try it. But let's just say it's an aphrodisiac. And it's something that you just want to eat or be eaten. Okay. That's how I'm going to leave with that.